Fat does more than make you look softer. It hides the man underneath. It hides your structure, your presence, your jawline, your shoulders, even the way people read you when you walk into a room. Most men think fat is just stored energy, calories, a cosmetic problem. But biologically and psychologically, body fat is a signal. And right now, that signal is working against you. When a man carries excess fat, especially around the waist and face, it sends a message before he ever speaks. Lower discipline, lower stress tolerance, lower dominance. This isn't opinion. Studies on perception show that humans unconsciously associate leanness with control, health, and leadership. Fat blurs those signals. It makes strong men look average and average men invisible. This is why losing fat changes everything at once. Your face sharpens, your posture improves. Clothes fit differently. People treat you differently. Not because you became someone else, but because the version of you that was already there is finally visible. The mistake most men make is trying to attack fat randomly. They jump between diets, workouts, and hacks without understanding the system. Today, you're going to learn the system. The first principle is energy balance, but framed correctly. Fat loss always requires a calorie deficit, but most men misunderstand what that actually means. It does not mean starving. It does not mean eating tiny portions and feeling miserable. It means creating a controlled gap between what you consume and what you use, while protecting muscle and hormones. When men crash diet, testosterone drops, cortisol rises, and the body fights back. The result is burnout, muscle loss, and rebound fat gain. A disciplined deficit feels boring, not painful. That's how you know it's sustainable. The second principle is movement that does not exhaust the nervous system. This is where walking becomes a weapon. Fast, steady walking keeps cortisol low, improves insulin sensitivity, and burns fat without triggering muscle loss. Unlike high-intensity workouts done every day, walking tells the body it is safe to release stored energy. 30 to 60 minutes per day, broken into smaller sessions if needed, compounds faster than most men realize. This is not about effort. It's about consistency. Men who walk daily stay leaner long-term than men who rely only on brutal workouts. The third principle is muscle preservation. A lean man with muscle looks dominant. A lean man without muscle looks fragile. This is why resistance training matters even if your main goal is fat loss. You do not need fancy routines. Compound movements signal the body to hold onto muscle while fat is burned. Even 2 to 3 sessions per week are enough to protect your frame. Muscle is expensive tissue. When the body knows it is needed, it will not give it up easily. The fourth principle is controlling the deep core, not chasing abs. Most men obsess over crunches, thinking visible abs come from endless repetitions. The reality is simpler and more frustrating. Visible abs come from low enough body fat and proper abdominal tension. The transverse abdominis, your deep core muscle, acts like a natural belt. When it is weak, the stomach pushes outward even at lower body fat levels. When it is strong, the waist pulls inward and the torso looks tighter instantly. Breathing out forcefully during controlled core work teaches this muscle to engage. This does not burn fat directly, but it dramatically improves how lean you look at the same weight. The fifth principle is water and inflammation control. Many men confuse fat with bloat. Salt-heavy processed food, dehydration, poor sleep, and late-night eating cause the body to retain water around the midsection. This makes the stomach look softer and larger, especially in the morning. Drinking enough water signals the body that it does not need to hoard fluid. Eating earlier in the evening allows digestion to finish before sleep. Reducing processed foods lowers inflammation. These changes can make a visible difference in days, not weeks. Not because fat vanished, but because inflammation did. The sixth principle is rotational movement and athletic output. This is where shadow boxing and similar movements become powerful. Rotational exercises engage the core dynamically, train the shoulders and back, and burn calories efficiently. They also reinforce posture and confidence. When a man moves athletically, his body tightens naturally. The waist pulls in. The shoulders open. The chest lifts. This is why fighters often look lean even without extreme diets. Their movement patterns demand constant core engagement. The seventh principle is hormonal alignment. Fat loss is not just mechanical, it is hormonal. Sleep deprivation raises cortisol and lowers testosterone, making fat loss harder and fat storage easier. Poor sleep also increases hunger and reduces impulse control. 7 to 9 hours of sleep in a dark, cool room is not optional if you want to get lean. Men who fix sleep often lose fat without changing anything else, simply because their hormones stop working against them. Now here is the red thread most videos miss. Fat loss is not about willpower. It is about environment and identity. A man who eats poorly, sleeps badly, and sits all day is not weak. He is misaligned. When you change the inputs, the outputs change automatically. When walking becomes normal, hunger stabilizes. When sleep improves, cravings drop. When posture improves, confidence rises. Fat loss becomes a side effect of order. This is why fat loss changes how men are treated. It is not just visual, it is behavioral. Leaner men move differently. They breathe differently. They occupy space differently. People read that instantly. Fat hides these signals. Removing it reveals them. The biggest lie in fitness is that fat loss is about suffering. It is not. It is about removing friction. Men fail because they try to do everything at once. The disciplined man builds a simple system and repeats it. Daily walking, controlled eating, regular training, sleep protection. Nothing heroic, just relentless consistency. If you follow these principles for weeks, not days, the change becomes unavoidable. Your waist tightens, your face sharpens, your posture improves. People start reacting differently, often without knowing why. And once that feedback loop starts, discipline becomes easier, not harder. This is not about chasing abs. It is about revealing structure. It is about letting the man underneath the fat finally be seen. You do not need to become someone else. You need to stop hiding who you already are. If this video gave you clarity, like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a man who still thinks fat loss is just about motivation. This channel exists to help men build discipline, presence, and control the honest way. There is one thing you should remember if you want this to last. Consistency beats intensity every single time. Not motivation, not extreme plans. The man who improves 1% every day will always outperform the man who goes all in for 2 weeks and disappears. Stay consistent, stay disciplined, and keep building. This is how real change happens.